Here's what I always say. The person whose desire to be number one is the greatest failure. You're like, what are you talking about? Because if the goal is to be number one, if your potential is to run, if your potential is 4.0, but I get 3.8 and you get 3.9, you're number one, but you didn't reach your potential. You should never want to be number one. You should want to be first, the one to innovate what everyone else follows. What changed my mind is to create a culture that is not cool with being number one, because if I'm number one, I'm reactionary to your actions. I need to watch you to figure out what it is that I'm going to do. That's irresponsible, to relinquish the duty of my vision, my life, my dream to your drive. So you should never want to be number one. You should want to be first. You should want to innovate. You are living out right now what people will Google. Like what I'm doing in life, I want to be the one that you Google. I've got nothing to Google, which is vulnerable. How do you research what has not been done yet? How do you ride down? There is no Google Maps for a road that you're paving. You should be thinking in videography, not how do I follow what Brandon did, how do I create my own lane? Shoot, how do I create my own road? How do I name a concept that now is not just shooting, it's a concept that videographers follow that's named after you? Tell me your name?
Alex.
So let's say Alex call it the A1 shoot, instead of B-roll, the A1. And videographers around the world got to follow something you innovated. That's different from being number one. That's being first. That's where you visit. It's called white space. It's where you take your mind, visit the future, answer a problem that the world don't even know to ask, and you come back and pose the question and walk off. That's what all technology does. When the world had a transportation problem, Uber and Lyft solved it. But let me tell you how disruptive Uber and Lyft is. Airports now got to put up signs, pay somebody to say, ride share this way. They thought they were competing with taxis, but they changed airports. The moment you said that I'm going to Redbox or my Netflix and chill, you don't realize that you put corporations that made VCRs and DVDs out of business. Make it a Blockbuster night. Blockbuster had the resources, Blockbuster had the money, the innovation, but Blockbuster didn't realize that their competition was not their competition. The people they were competing against, Movie Gallery, was not their competition. It was those that wasn't trying to be number one. It was a Redbox and a Netflix that was trying to be first. It is never your competition. It's not the people to your left and your right that you got to compete against. It's the person who don't even know to follow the rules, who colors outside the lines, who don't walk to the same beat, the person who is not bound or restricted by money or resources. It's the person who is brave enough. Oh, you're not supposed to do what? It's the person who don't know the rules. That changes the game for everybody. Everything's been disrupted. When we had a rental problem of where you live and lay your head, Airbnb solved it. The moment you said, oh yeah, you got tired of buying CDs to listen to 2 records on there. So the moment streaming happened, you didn't just put distribution companies out of business, the people who packaged it, the people who took the photos, the labels. You remember the photo shoots they used to take for them CDs? So photographers are now out of business. Innovation of streaming put multiple people out of business. Y'all don't remember the videographer that used to sit on the side of the helicopter whenever there was news? That person's out of business because of drones. See what happens when somebody decides to be first?